All right, it's growth time. So look, the recent study said 38% of US adults would still wear a mask in a public indoor event. 38%. Well, that got me thinking. While most of Americans are getting back to normal average living or the new normalcy, look, the mask is just still part of the game. And it made me think about masks. And the thought is, are you ready to remove your mask? And no, this isn't a social statement or some social propaganda. It's really the thought of looking at the mask you wear, why you wear them, and then how to remove our masks so that we can lead our best life, just make a great impact in others. So look, let's start with why. Why masks? Well, I think safety first. Why do we wear masks? For safety. We don't want to be exposed. People wear masks because they don't want to be exposed. They want to be exposed to a virus, or hey, they just don't want to expose themselves. We'd rather conceal, protect, cover up. We don't want to be found out. It's like that notion of, look, I want to make people think things are better than they actually are. And that could be in our personal world, our business world, our leadership world. Heck, maybe just internal. We want to give the notion that things are better than they actually are. Another reason, look, superheroes, they wear masks. Well, we wear masks too, all to protect our identity. We're not really comfortable if people found out who we really are, how we really respond and act, who we really are, the identity, that mask. We like to protect it. And then look, we're performers. Like, why do people wear masks? You've had that wig on before. Halloween's coming up, you're going to put on that costume. And you're going to act and think and move differently. It's like a performance. You're going to perform differently with a mask on around different people in different ways as a way to keep safety first, to protect yourself. And look, there's definitely parts of life that just seems like it's a necessity in order to live our lives, to wear a mask, to protect ourselves, to not be transparent, to not be vulnerable, and we want to wear that mask. But yet, it's an underlying theme. It's going to actually hinder and incapacitate your ability to really live and lead your best. So, like, I can identify for years of my life, I walked in a realm where I wore a mask. I felt like I was in performance mode. When I was around certain people, I acted a certain way. Around others, I acted differently. And I always felt like I was on that on button, like you were constantly on the spot having to perform. And yet, it didn't match how I really felt or thought or was working inside. And look, my identity, it was fragile. It was built on things like my athletic prowess, my education, my quick wit. My identity was wrapped up in me. And that's a fragile place. And then also, I didn't want to be exposed. That look, I was kind of like a fraud. Like my character didn't match up with the way I was wanting to perceive to other people. There were some real defects. And I didn't want to be exposed. I didn't want people to know. So I'd hide, I'd cover up, I'd wear that mask nice and tight so no one could know what was really going on. And really what was going on was it was affecting me. It was affecting my life and my ability to move forward and remove that mask. But yet it kept me safe. So look, how do you know? Like, how do you know if you're wearing a mask? Well, I'll give you three quick thoughts before we get into solution and try to break through and rip this mask off. Well, you fake it till you make it. You're faking it. You feel like you're always having to perform. You're on that on go. You're on that on spot. Like you're always acting a certain way, but yet when the performance is over and you're left alone, you're frustrated, anxious, like you're racing in your head, you're disappointed, you're mad, maybe you're even angry. And so you're having to fake it. It usually shows up in your close relationships. That's where the real you comes out. And another reason, right? You know, if you are wearing a mask, is you're in lockdown. Like you are like regressed, like you're tied up, you're bound up, you're strained, you're stressed. Like it's all wrapped up. You don't show a lot of emotions. Like you don't cry, you don't have feelings and thoughts unless it's about the pain you're going through. And you're locked in. It's a symptom. It's a symptom that you're wearing a mask. And then number 3 is really a hard one. It's cover-up time. You'll know if you're wearing a mask if you're always trying to cover up bad behavior, bad decisions, destructive patterns, habits that you're trying to break that you can't, and you're just trying to cover them up. So you're having to wear a mask to protect yourself and keep yourself safe. And so you think you're keeping yourself safe, but in reality, man, it becomes a harsh breeding ground, like just a devastating plot. So what you have to look at then is, how are we going to solve it? Like, how are you going to move forward? How are you going to break through and get past that? How are you going to get past the fear of being exposed? How are you going to break through and take some risk? Well, here's a couple truth bombs. I'm going to give 3 truth bombs that's going to help navigate how you're going to break through and tear off that mask and break into intimacy, break into connection point with others, and break into being able to be trusted with yourself and with others. Because it's not easy, but that's what we desire. I call it the growth life. Yeah, there's 7 essentials I talk about that really would keep you connected. It's kind of what you internally desire. And I call those 7 joy. You want more of that coming out of your life. You want more love. You want more character strength to come in. You want cleaner vision. You want more authority to grow in your leadership, greater results, and you want an increase in faith. Those are 7 essentials, and we want those in our growth life. We want them manifesting. But yet, if we wear that mask, if we try to keep ourselves safe, if we try to protect ourselves from everything and hide and conceal and cover up, we're never going to get it. So you got to make the bold, brave decision. You got to make the decision to tear off that mask. And really, tearing off that mask starts with a simple concept of relationships. If you're motivated by relationships, or you need to shift your focus to be motivated by relationships, and healthy, strong ones, you're going to be on the right path to tearing down and tearing off that mask. If you're caught up in self-preservation, self-interest, it's going to be really hard to rip that mask off. And you're going to always just want to protect and be safe. So here's your 3 truth bombs. That was actually 6. We'll just cut it back and go with 3. Number 1 in relationships, it's the relationship you have with yourself. It starts with you. Are you willing to get real, transparent, no holds barred with yourself, rid yourself of your pride, of your self-important ego, and really get transparent about where you are with your character, with your behavior, with your actions? Are you really to say, like, gosh, I've got to be real with them out. I don't care if I get exposed. I'm not going to be held back by mistakes I've made in the past. I'm not going to live in shame or fear and guilt. And I've just got to be transparent with me and my relationship with me. Number 2 is your relationship with God, with Coach, the great growth coach I call him. Is your identity going to be framed on you, or is it going to be framed upon the truths that God puts forth? So you're going to have to rework that identity in order to be on solid ground. Your identity's got to be built on God's truth and not yours. I know, humbling thought, right? But in that, the good news is, if you're in right relationship with Jesus, look, he takes away that mask. Like that mask that we want to wear to keep us safe. He takes away the fear. He can take away the shame, the guilt, the performance mentality, the frailties that we exist that keeps us wanting to protect ourselves. He can take it away, and in exchange, he will give you power so that you can live that growth life. You can live the best God version of you. And that's an important part. You got to develop and strengthen that relationship and build your identity on something strong with a foundation. And that's found in Coach God. And number 3, here's the last truth bomb. If you're going to break through and rip that mask off, you're going to have to be vulnerable. Yeah, with others. We're just not created in isolation. We're just not created with us and God. We're created in 3 parts. Relationship with ourselves, how we relate to our Creator God, and then boom, how we're going to relate to others. Are we going to be open and transparent? Are we willing to be vulnerable and expose ourselves? Are we going to get connected in those relationships? Are people going to be able to trust us even when we fail, even when we make mistakes? We're going to humbly walk that out and admit it. But in that, our relationship with others and having others we can open up and express ourselves to starts to break us free. There's a great scripture in James that talks about confess your faults, your sins, your shortcomings one to another, and pray that you would be healed. So in that, realize the fellowship, relationship with others is going to bridge that gap and going to help you break through and rip off that mask and start living your best life. Is it easy? Heck no. Because once you tear it off, you're going to want to put it back on. It's a work we all face with. Are we going to put on our masks today and cover up? Are we going to pull off our masks and be vulnerable, risk being exposed, build a strong identity? Look, are we going to get out of our lockdown mode, not hide and cover up and try to protect? But in that, we're going to all make that choice. Be bold, be courageous. People are depending upon you. Your purpose, your mission depends upon you as an individual breaking through, tearing off that mask, and leaving it far behind. Now, what you do with COVID, whether you wear that mask and you're part of those adults, it's your choice. Has some probably great value to keep you safe and protected from virus. But in reality, that mask we wear in our life, that makes us fake it, that makes us perform, that shifts who we are, that makes us not be transparent. It's not good for life. It's not good for leadership. So I'd encourage you today, take these truth bombs, take these life coaching, put it into practice, and watch how things change. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be comfortable, but no big growth is. You can do it. So get connected if you'd like with GrowthTime. And the way you do that is go to mygrowthtime.com. For those who don't know, I offer a free 52-week, week-by-week journey for 1 year through the major growth zones of life and leadership. So if you're interested in personal growth, if you want to lead at that next level, jump on. Get connected, subscribe at mygrowthtime.com, and go be great. Okay, what time is it? It's growth.